Hey, good morning. How y'all doing? It is well, Red Beard. It is a damn fine day to talk about a book. And today we're here for a short review of a very, very short book, and it is Encheiridion, the Manual for Living by Epictetus. This book, the introduction is probably almost as long as the text. But look, I've gone down a rabbit hole. I'm new to this. I'm new to philosophy. I'm new to Stoicism. I am 48 years old. But the funny thing is what I found with Stoicism, it like most of it, I guess, or all of it, or whatever, kind of mirrors my own personal philosophy. I just didn't know what it was called. And so, I've talked about this guy a lot, but briefly, how I got here was, I found some videos on YouTube of this guy, Ryan Holiday. He writes, but he also, has a bookstore. People come in there, they talk about things. And his absolute favorite book of all time is Meditations by Marcus Aurelius. So, I found him. I read this. I've read a lot of other like nonfiction books that they talk about on that channel. His books, it pulls all that good shit in from philosophy and stoicism and combines it with, modern day stories of, successful people. And, it's, self growth, a bit of productivity stuff. But, so that's how I got here. Epictetus predates Marcus Aurelius. He was, a seminal figure in the late period of Stoic philosophy. He was Greek born, between 50 and 60 CE, a slave. He was a slave, either by birth or acquisition. He ended up in Rome, where, in accordance with local practice, he was permitted to study and perhaps teach philosophy. Epictetus ultimately was emancipated and went on to pursue a life of thinking and teaching. When all philosophers were banned from Rome, all the philosophers were banned from Rome, Epictetus and his disciples fled to northeastern Greece. Now I will say that there's this feeling that I get from this book, a manual for living, that, you know, it's a lot about thinking about how to live and maybe less about actually living. Like it feels like, yeah, this is all great. These are cool principles, but sometimes you want to be just a bit off the cuff. Sometimes you just want to, grab life by the horns or whatever, and so whatever. But so here's like a little bit of synopsis. It says. Countless readers have found peace of mind and gathered inner strength from savoring this collection of Epictetus sayings. Unlike many ephemeral and faddish dispensations of wisdom, Epictetus' philosophy lacks nothing in depth and complexity. It has been a staple of Western education for centuries and has exercised a formative influence on such diverse figures as Marcus Aurelius, Augustine, Blaise Pascal, the contemporary American novelist Tom Wolfe. Nearly 2 millennia after it was written, Encheiridion, the Manual for Living, continues to engage and inspire readers today. So, yeah, I haven't really figured out how to rank these things. I mean, there are parts of this book that I absolutely love. There are parts of this book, even though it's short, that I kind of, slogged through. But but definitely, 5-star principles. I mean, I would say I'm probably 3.5 stars on this one. I did enjoy it. I probably, it's short, so by that I probably enjoyed it more than I enjoyed Meditations. But anyway, I'm just kind of getting into this, so I'm gonna, briefly share a couple things that I marked that I thought was cool, and I didn't prep for this, so this might be weird. But it's short. If you're wanting to get into Stoic philosophy or Stoicism, it's definitely a good place to start. So um, everything in everything which pleases the soul or supplies a want or is loved, remember to add this to the description. What is the nature of each thing, beginning from the smallest? If you love an earthen vessel, say, it is an earthen vessel which you love. For when it has been broken, you will not be disturbed. If you are kissing your child or wife, Say that it is a human being whom you are kissing, for when the wife or child dies, you will not be disturbed. Now, I can't get with that. I don't understand that. Like, it's like, love your children, but hold them at arm's length because they can be taken from you. I get it. I mean, I get if you're really going to think about the way to handle things like that, then, but some of us just, I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I'm going to be disturbed. You know what I mean? But so that was not a great one. When you're going to take in hand any act, remind yourself what kind of act it is. If you're going to bathe, place before yourself what happens in the bath. Some splashing, the water, others pushing against one another. So this is, I think I marked this just because it's talking about, um, you know, talking about a bath. I'm thinking, a private thing, and he's thinking like a group bath type scenario. So, anyway, let's see here. Disease is an impediment to the body, but not to the will. I did like this one. Unless the will itself chooses. Lameness is an impediment to the leg, but not to the will. And add this reflection on the occasion of everything that happens, for you will find it an impediment to something else, but not to yourself. So you got an impediment that affects your body, but not yourself. I don't know. Found that cool. On the occasion of every accident that befalls you, remember to turn to yourself and inquire what power you have for turning it to use. If you see a fair man or a fair woman, you will find that the power to resist is temperance. If labor be presented to you, you will find that it is endurance. If it be abusive words, you will find that it will be patience. So no matter what happens, you have a way to deal with it and then look at it as a positive. I mean, hard labor, you're gaining endurance. Being tempted by a person of the opposite or same sex, temperance and so on and so forth. Now, I'm going to do one more, and then we're going to get out of here because this was probably my favorite part. Um, of the entire thing. It talked about everything has two handles, the one by which it may be borne, and the other by which it may not. If your brother acts unjustly, do not lay hold of the act by that handle wherein he acts unjustly, for this is the handle which cannot be borne. But lay hold of the other, that he is your brother, that he was nurtured with you, and you will lay hold of the thing by that handle by which it can be borne. So, something shitty happens, someone, treats you poorly, any type of adversity, really, though, there's a way to handle it and move forward, or there's a way to grab hold of it and have it fall to the ground and shatter. Of course, I'm thinking of like a Greek earthen vase with a handle on each side, and one of them's barely hanging on, and one of them you can actually pick it up and carry it and move forward. So I found that really kind of cool, and that's one thing. Um, when I read something this ancient and I find something usable in it, I don't know, something about that is super cool. But look, I'm no philosophy expert. I'm no genius. I just read a lot of shit. And I read this one and found some cool stuff in there. But I am enjoying this right now. Like I'm enjoying this new, I guess, broadening of my wheelhouse when it comes to reading. So, there's more of this stuff to do. I've got a couple others right here. Actually, I've got the golden sayings of Epictetus. So I don't know if this is going to have like a lot of crossover, but I'm going to be doing this one. It's also pretty short, fairly soon. Want to do some Socrates. Want to do some other stuff, but slowly. No, I mean I'm not going to redirect and completely just consume this type of stuff. But yeah, this is Encheiridion. It's horrible to pronounce. Encheiridion. The Manual for Living by Epictetus. 3.5 stars, that general area. Appreciate you being here. Hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you're enjoying all your books, all of them, as much as I am. If not, you're reading the wrong damn books.